views or opinions expressed in this video are solely my own and do not necessarily reflect those of any other person or company. Hello again, good people. Today we are in the beautiful Canaries, specifically on the island of Tenerife, at the Tenerife Norte Airport. That's Golf Charlie X-Ray Oscar. I'll be looking at the Vought F8 Crusader jet fighter. We'll be flying from here around the island and then heading off out to sea for a carrier landing. Why not start from the carrier, you may ask, and that is a good question. Unfortunately, X-Plane only allows you to start on the cat shot with the engine running, which is no good for the purpose of this video. Perhaps the new X-Plane 12 might rectify this. Well, we shall see. This freeware model, produced by Restauravia team, has been made with care and I think is, well, it's moving towards payware standards. The Crusader was made for the United States Navy and the United States Marine Corps and is primarily a carrier-based fighter. This model was originally produced for P3D and then adapted for X-Plane. Of course, there are differences in how the aircraft systems work between the two sims, and those differences are listed in a text file held with the documentation. As you can see, the external textures are excellent, with a good amount of detailing, good panel lines and lots of rivet details. The livery is sharp, and the wording on things such as warning notices only really blurs on the very small signs. Talking of liveries, there are 3 provided for the French variant, but only 1 for the United States version. However, you can download a few more on xplane.org. A lot of thoughtful detail has been put into the undercarriage. Everything looks, well, brilliant. I know that the rear walls of the wheelbase are just 2D images, but you really can't tell. I can only give 9 out of 10 for this. So, without further ado, let's climb in and get it started. Inside, the cockpit is well laid out. The textures are crisp and are substantive. There is the usual instrumentation that you would find in an aircraft of this vintage. The flight instruments are on the left and the engine and fuel management is mostly on the right. A small panel behind the joystick deals with the weapons. To the left is the throttle, autopilot and controls for wing management. And on the right is the TACAN panel, lights, landing hook and radio. There is of course a lot more switches and levers that, because of brevity, I'm not going to go through. Unfortunately, a lot of them are just for show and don't actually work in the sim. So to start the engine, I will be using the documentation provided, which is in English, but has been written for FSX P3D version. There is a simplified start procedure in the X-Plane adaptation text file held with the rest of the documents. Okay, let's get the headset on. Can you hear me okay? Okay, good. So, throttle at minimum, parking brake on, which it is. Switch master electrics to on. Switch engine master to on. Switch fuel control manual to on. Hold the ignition on for 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, after start, switch the fuel control manual to off. Okay, that seems simple as long as you remember where the switches are hiding. Now that we have power, I can show you the wing fold mechanism. Operating the mechanism is easy as unlocking and using this lever. The F8 was capable of taking off with the wings folded, as apparently happened by mistake a few times. So we will make sure they are down and locked. The in-flight refueling probe can be extended by operating this switch. I'm afraid I don't know whether you can refuel this way in the sim, as I'm quite terrible at doing that. The F8 has an interesting design feature for carrier operations in that it has a variable instant wing which lifts up at the front by 7 degrees and allows a greater angular attack and hence lift, while allowing the pilot a better view during landing. Low landing speed was also enhanced by leading edge drooping flaps and 30-degree big barn door inboard flaps. Although there is a separate lever to operate the instant wing, X-Plane does this automatically if you select full flaps. Okay, let's shut the canopy. Before we go any further, I will show the instruments at night. As you can see, they look quite pretty. There are 3 controls for the instruments, the console and the floodlights, all in this restful and nice vision-saving red hue. Okay, I'll change frequency of the tower and we will taxi out. Tenerife Tower, request taxi to active, Marine 105.
Marine 105, taxi 2 and hold short of 30.
Taxi 2 and hold short 30, Marine 105. Holding at 30, Marine 105.
Marine 105, you are cleared for takeoff on 30.
Clear for takeoff, runway 30, Marine 105. Vought F8 Crusader is a single-engine supersonic carrier-based air superiority aircraft built to replace the Vought Cutlass. The first prototype flew in February 1955. 1,219 were built, with 42 Crusaders being supplied to the French Navy, L'air Naval. The French type was further modified to allow it to operate from smaller decks, and also fitted with a blown flaps system to give it more lift at lower speed. Crusader was the last American fighter with guns as the primary weapon, 4 20mm cannons, earning it the title the last of the gunfighters. It also carried rocket pods and sidewinders on cheek pylons. The F-8 served mainly in the Vietnam War, where it was the best dogfighter against the Vietnamese Migs. There was a prevailing view at the time that dogfighting wasn't needed as long-range missiles would take out enemy aircraft, but the Crusader proved this wasn't the case. 19 kills were claimed by Crusader pilots, 4 using the guns. The aircraft in its role of photo reconnaissance provided essential information during the Cuban Missile Crisis, and it was retired from the US Naval Reserve in 1991. Okay, let's have some specs. The aircraft is powered by a Pratt & Whitney J57 turbojet engine. It is 56 feet long, that's 17 metres, and has a wingspan of 35 foot 8 or 10.9 metres. It was designed to have a top speed of Mach 1.2 at 30,000 feet and a landing speed of no more than 100 miles per hour. Climb rate was 19,000 feet per minute. Air brake out, slow down a little. let's head on out to the carrier. As you can see, this F8 belongs to the USS Hancock. That Essex class carrier was decommissioned in 1976, but for the sake of this video I'm going to pretend we have a time machine and we are now back in the 70s. So let's go find our carrier, shall we? While we are out at sea, we'll look at the weapons system. Unfortunately, although the weapons select panel looks great, it seems that this is one of the things that's not been ported over to X-Plane. The only thing you can do is select and fire the guns. I'm afraid the sidewinders will forever be attached to the sides of the aircraft, at least in this version. Well, we should be able to fire the guns. This was called the last gunfighter after all. There she is. Hancock 105, marking MOMS 180 for 15, Angels 1, state 0.8.
105, Mother's weather is visibility 10 plus miles. Scattered clouds at 10,000, altimeter is 29 or 9 or 2. Case 1, recovered. Expected BRC 360. Report seeing me at 10.
Roger 105. Tower 105, overhead Angels 1, state 0.7.
105, Tower Roger, BRC is 360. Signal is Charlie.
Roger 105. Yes, I know that looks like the Nimitz, but the Hancock and the Nimitz look very similar from a distance, so I think you must be mistaken. Landing hook deployed. Landing gear down, flaps full. We are lined up and ready. .5 Crusader, ball, 0.7.
Roger, ball.
I know, I got so many things wrong. Please don't shout at me. If you want to view some of my many failed attempts, then please wait to the end of the video. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this ride on the Crusader. The F8 certainly has its failings. I think it probably lacks armament and apparently was quite difficult to land on a carrier. But for all that, there is no denying that this is an iconic aircraft of the 70s vintage. I'd like to thank the Restauravia team for giving us this bird, and I look forward to reviewing more aircraft from them. So with that, I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.
Two, high, wave off. Power, wave off. Power, wave off, wave off. Wave off, wave off.